You're listening to Dysfunctional Radio on the Ironic Radio Network. We're on with a superstar rapper from the UK, Honey G. How are you, honey?
Hey, how you doing? I'm good.
Good. And I got my buddy Tom on the phone, too. Tom, how are you?
I'm doing great. Excited to talk to Honey G, the one and only.
Yeah, we've been following you. Obviously, you know, we in the States, we first came across you on X Factor. But you've been around for quite a while before that, so that's pretty cool. How did you...
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I read a little bit of your history on the internet, so who knows how true most of that is. But where did you... you know, tell me, why don't you tell us how it all started? You know, were you rapping at school or when you were in the 20s, or did it just suddenly come about? How did it come about?
Well, I mean, I've grown up into a musical family. My mum's a classical pianist, so I grew up in, you know, a musical household the whole of my life. So before I was actually a rapper, I was actually a DJ. I ran my own club night in Manchester when I was studying at university. And, you know, I've grown up with rap and hip-hop the whole of my life. You know, when everyone was in the school playground playing hopscotch, I was busy memorizing the Snoop Dogg Doggy Style album, you know. So so, you know, when I was at university, I started DJing. I did a lot of work with BBC Radio 1, BBC Radio 1 Extra, and I did a few shows for them. And then, obviously, after I graduated at university, I studied music there. I kind of built my own home studio at home, and I sort of worked a lot on my production and producing music. And then it was probably sort of about 6 or 7 years ago that I started taking rapping a bit more seriously, and I started rapping over, you know, music that I'd produced. And then, you know, shortly after that, you know, I decided to enter X Factor mainly because I was kind of struggling to get, you know, management or like booking agents, like naturally. So obviously I entered X Factor. I didn't obviously know, you know, obviously that I was going to go so far in the competition and you know, get fifth place, you know, in the competition. So, you know, and then obviously my music career really took off after the X Factor in 2016. So, yeah, I mean, I've been around musical instruments the whole of my life. When I was younger, I used to play a lot of piano, guitar, and so, you know, music has been very much sort of a large part of my life.
That's awesome. Tom, actually, I introduced Tom to you. Sorry, you to Tom, should I say? And he's totally obsessed now, Tom. You've been scaring YouTube and stuff, right?
Well, I think the part that's so awesome is that you have these competition shows, and oftentimes the person who wins or gets second or third, nobody remembers them. But Honey G created this sensation, and she's one of those people that, you know, 5 years from now, nobody's going to remember who was on that season, but they'll remember her because of how dramatic everything was that happened to you. You audition, you do a song where you just say your name. That's all you say was your name. And then you're not on, and then somebody else can't be on for visa or something. I don't remember what it was, but they bring you back, and there's a controversy about that. And then you get mentored by Sharon Osbourne, who had actually, I guess, voted you off. And then you're in her top 3. And there's more controversy. And ladies, mothers and grandmothers start this hashtag Mummy G movement.
Yeah,
all these people are trying to put you down. And Snoop Dogg himself comes out and he says, no, she's totally legit. Everybody shut up. I think you're one of those people that has this sort of infectious personality that they just couldn't keep down. So that's why I'm obsessed.
Yeah. I mean, you know, X Factor was completely life-changing for me, and I still keep in touch with Sharon Osbourne. We text each other occasionally, and I owe her so much. You know, she really helped, you know, me launch my music career.
I think you have a skill of, you know, getting people's attention, not just your music, but just your whole personality, persona. You know, it's like did anyone on X Factor like say, hey, you know, you need to do this and that to get, you know, yourself noticed, or is that just you? Is that you?
No, not at all. I mean, what they did, you know, with my image, you know, in the very, very first auditions that I had, this was even before the first room audition where the judges were, they said to me, where did you get your cap from? Where did you get your glasses from? Where did you get your trainers from, jeans, everything? And what they did throughout the show, when the live shows were launched, they took my image and they enhanced it. And they never said to me, do this or say this or be like this. I mean, obviously we had quite intense vocal coaching,
right.
But they never said to me, you know, say this, do this, act like that. It you know, it always came obviously from me, and I wanted to project who I really was, you know, and project my own, you know, it was my own demeanor.
Yeah, like Tom said, you can't even remember most of the people that were on that show, but I still love those glasses when everybody in the whole place was wearing those glasses all the time. That was awesome.
Oh yeah, no, that was crazy. I actually had a really incident with those glasses, the one which says Honey G over the front. So basically, the way that you work those glasses is you have to program them to say Honey G on the front.
Right.
And I was wearing the glasses at one of my gigs in Manchester last year. It was one of my headline shows. And some super fan from the crowd actually tried to hack in to my glasses. And he actually got kicked out the gig because apparently he wrote something really rude on my glasses and managed to hack into my glasses. So, yeah, you have to be careful. But
you know what?
Everyone really loves those glasses.
You know what, though? You know, even with people doing that, it shows people's interest. You know, they always say that bad press is better than no press. You know what I mean? If people are talking, it doesn't matter what they're saying, really. You know, as long as
I mean, to be honest, you know, like I don't take any notice about, you know, any of the haters. You know, there's always going to be haters that are going to be popping, and you know, I never read any negative comments. I don't give it the time of day, you know, because to be honest, I think that any negativity, I'm all about projecting positivity and love. And you know, I think the negativity represents a very, very small portion of, you know, the you know, the British public. So, you know, I like to focus on the positive things and projecting, you know, positive energy.
Right.
I love my haters. Their tears are delicious. What was the derivation? You know, so like you decide.
I don't know what derivation means, Tom.
What was the beginning of the Honey G persona? I mean, I know it's really you, but what made you pick the name, and what drew you to make the kind of act, the kind of projection that you put out there?
Sure. Well, when I was at university, I mentioned, you know, that before I was a rapper, I was the DJ. And it was, I started DJing in 1999, and it was actually one of my friends at university that came up with the name Honey G. And I said, well, why Honey G? And he said, well, because you're sweet like honey. I said, why G? Because G's the first letter of my surname. And then we sort of said, all right, then, that sounds pretty cool. And then, you know, the next minute we knew it, you know, it was being printed on flyers for nights and stuff like that. So it kind of just happened, and I kind of just fell into the name. And, you know, I've always loved, you know, I've always loved the name Honey G, and, you know, I just think it suits me really well. And it's, you know, it's kind of part of me. It's who I am, you know. It's not kind of an alter ego, or, you know, some people have asked me, you know, is it your alter ego or whatever? And it's not really about that. Honey G is actually who I am. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what do you see as your influences? I know on the show you did a lot of Missy Elliott songs. Is that kind of your target?
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah. Well, obviously, I'm a massive, massive fan, you know, of Missy Elliott. You know, obviously, she's a, you know, hip-hop legend, you know. So, and, you know, obviously, I grew up with Snoop Dogg, and I loved a lot of Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. When I was very, very young, I used to actually listen to a lot of blues and jive as well. And I grew up, obviously, I loved a lot of the 80s music. For example, you know, I mean, I even, you know, I used to buy a lot of the Annie Lennox albums, and, you know, so I grew up, you know, with a lot of black music influences as well. You know, as I mentioned, you know, I mean, I like some of like the new rappers. Obviously, you know, I like people like Lil Wayne, Chance. I've always loved John Legend. You know, I've loved a lot of the other rappers like Lil Kim, and obviously I'm also a massive fan of Nicki Minaj as well. So, and I like the sort of stuff that Cardi B is coming up with now. Obviously, she's, you know, obviously blown up massively over the last year. So, you know, I have so many influences, you know, that I've grown up with, which are mainly really sort of black music influences. I like a lot of the stuff that Pharrell has done, for example, SWV, Salt and Pepper, you know, Biggie and Tupac. So those are the kind of people, and Dr. Dre, and obviously NWA, Ice Cube. You know, those are the kind of artists that I grew up listening to, you know. So, you know, I mean, it's really kind of a combination of a real sort of eclectic style of music. I mean, even when I used to play the piano when I was younger, I used to play a lot of Jamiroquai on the piano. I used to play a lot of the music from the George Michael Freedom album on the piano as well. So it's quite a broad range of styles, you know, that's influenced me, you know, throughout my whole life.
Yeah, one thing that kind of sucks is in the States, British rappers they don't seem to get very far. And I don't know if it's just the record companies. I mean, I know it's not really a rap album, but when Ollie Murs' first song came out and they had Rizzle Kicks doing the rapping, they did it over here with Flow Rider. They didn't leave in the British rapping. So I don't know if it's the accent doesn't work, which is bizarre to me because people seem to love British accents. So I don't know why they have this thing. I don't know if you know, Tom, any reason why you think that the British rappers don't get promoted over here that much?
I think it's you personally, Paul.
It is me?
Yes.
But no,
I think it's you.
I mean,
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I would obviously love to get the opportunity to, launch my rap career in the States. You know, I go to Los Angeles quite regularly. I have friends out there, and I've made a lot of friends in Los Angeles. Every time I go out there, I make more and more friends. And, I absolutely love it, you know, in the States. And, you know, I'd love to spend more time in the States. I'd love to potentially launch my rap career, you know, in the States. But I mean, I know, you know, a lot of people in the UK say it's impossible. It's impossible to, you know, get a break out there, you know. So, but I would, you know, I'd obviously jump at the chance to get an opportunity to, you know, perform and tour in the States.
Yeah.
One thing I would say is that, I'm American, but Americans tend to have a much more narrow field of music that they listen to and appreciate. I think when you listen to the radio that comes from the UK, you can listen to a station and hear a much more vast, you know, selection of music. And I think it's because they appreciate good music. They don't necessarily need to be defined by a genre. People here, if they like rap, that's all they listen to. If they like country, that's all they listen to. And it's just not as broad as of a spectrum.
Most of the stations here are geared to like a particular genre, whereas in the UK, you listen to like Radio 1 or Capital or any of those stations, they play everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Totally. I mean, yeah, exactly. That's what I love about America is that, you know, they've got loads and loads of, you know, loads and loads of hip-hop stations which are dedicated to just playing hip-hop, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, that my stupid dog just came in and started barking. Hey, get out! He's a character on our radio show, that dog. But I think you have one advantage now in that, which we didn't have years ago, is that you can blow up randomly around the world thanks to YouTube. You know, a lot of acts over here like Shawn Mendes. I can't think of any other examples, but I know there's a bunch of them that just wouldn't be anything without YouTube, right, Tom? I'm sure you can think of some other ones.
Justin Bieber, sadly.
Yeah. I mean,
he was a YouTube sensation, and there's been several other. The girl that did the Friday song. There's been a lot of them, actually. You're such a bigger than life persona, a person. What would be the thing that people, if they found it out about you personally, they would say, "Oh, you're kidding me"?
If they found something out about me.
Yeah, here we go. For exclusive.
Well, I mean, you know, like, there's not really anything, you know, particularly surprising, you know, about me. They'd be like, "Oh my God, you're kidding me." You know, I am what I am. What you see is what you get. You know, I mean, I don't really have many sort of skeletons in the closet, to be honest. But I once did do bungee jumping.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm in for that too.
Yeah. I did bungee jumping, and I would love to go skydiving, but
I did that. It's amazing.
I have kind of a bit of a fear of it, but I'd love to do skydiving.
Skydiving is awesome because it sounds really scary, but when you get up there, when you jump out of the plane, the ground is so far away, you don't have the feeling. It's only when you get close to the ground you start getting worried, but by then you have the parachute up anyway. So it's awesome. You have to do it. It was like one of the most awesome things I ever did. That I don't know, Tom, have you skydived?
Oh, I've skydived, and you're exactly right. When you're up there, it's totally abstract, and then you get about 400 feet, above the ground, and you're like, "Hey, I'm actually way up in the air here," and the landing's the only thing to worry about. How did you make it through all of the ups and downs of X Factor? You must have a very, very, very strong belief in yourself because of you're in 1 second, now you're not in, and back and forth and everything. And even when you came back for the final show and did your song, it was just controversy surrounding you everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a roller coaster. Obviously, getting booted off at the 6-chair challenge, and then I got a call from the executive producers 2 days before the judges' houses saying, "Listen, we want you back in the show." It was like a miracle. And the next minute I knew I was on a plane on my way to LA to Sharon Osbourne's house. It was an unbelievable roller coaster. I remember phoning my mum up and saying, "You'll never believe what's just happened. I'm back in the competition." And she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." And, getting the public behind me for, 8 or 9 consecutive live shows, I just couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. And I was just literally, every time I got through, I was just like, "Bring it on, get in." I was like, "Come on, I can do this," And, like when I was at university, in my final year of university, I was, unfortunately, I had a really bad experience. I had my car hijacked and I was kidnapped and sexually assaulted. And the guy that did it, he was actually convicted, for what he did to me, so justice was done. And I think, having, that bad experience that happened to me whilst I was, at university in Manchester, it made me a much stronger person. And it made me think, you know what, if you can beat this, if you can get through this, you can get through anything. And I've always been very, very resilient and, had a very positive mental attitude, and just being like, you know what, I can do this, like I have, I'm so sort of, that's why, whenever I see anything negative or I hear anything negative, I just don't take any notice of it. And I just say, look, I can do this. If I can get through that, I can get through anything.
How scary was it doing the live shows? I mean, I see the studio and it's not really that big, but the fact that there's a camera pointing at you, there's millions of people looking at you, does that factor in your head, or you just look at just the room and deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, there were times when, I was just about to go on stage and I was worried, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I thought I was going to have a panic attack or something, sometimes I was but I remember the first time I went on stage, in one of the rehearsals, and I thought, oh my God, am I getting stage fright? But then, after, the first live show, was under my belt, and after we'd done quite a few rehearsals, I was just I just loved it. It was the most amazing experience, performing in front of live television, in front of 7 million people, and the crowd, was always going absolutely crazy. Every time I went on stage, it was the most unforgettable experience, and I'd do anything, to do it again.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I do comedy, which is obviously nothing like what you do, but with comedy, the first few seconds, if you get the right reaction in the first few seconds, it goes from scary to awesome. So I'm sure when you walk out there, the second you get that reaction, you're like, this is easy. you know what I mean?
Oh, I'd love to watch some of your comedy shows. Can I see them on YouTube? Or
no, but I can send you links. I don't put it up yet because I haven't been doing it that long, so I don't really put it out there yet. But you know how it is.
Wow.
You got to perfect it before that one time people see it. You know what I mean? You don't put out the first version of your song. You perfect it and then you put it out, right? So.
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, I know some comedians have done so well. I mean, for example, Tiffany Haddish and Kevin Hart. They're absolutely massive, and I'm massive fans of them.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how the comedy has basically made them into A-list Hollywood stars now.
Oh yeah, Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's ginormous. I mean, he's only 4 foot tall, but he's ginormous. But yeah, I mean, we can all wish to be that, but that's a 1 in a million shot. To get that kind of thing, I would wish, but I'm way below that status. But
well, you've always got to just persevere and just keep on going.
Yeah. Well, I'm falling into the same thing you do, and that's I don't give a shit what people say. We just do it, and then there's forget about the haters, and if they're talking about you. Then that's exactly what you deal with. If they're talking about you, then that's good. It doesn't really matter what they're saying.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, just always remember, the negativity always represents a very, very small portion, of the people. And if when you start listening to the haters and you start worrying about them, that's when the problem starts. But if you don't care about the haters and you're just like, no, I'm not even going to give it the time of day, then you can just keep a strong, positive mindset about what you're doing and reach your goals,
Yeah.
Yeah. How was your interaction with the judges? I mean, obviously you had a close relationship with Sharon Osbourne, but the other judges, is it you only talk to them when they're judging you on stage, or are there other interactions? And did you think any of the criticism you may have gotten was ill-founded?
Well, I mean, obviously, I didn't really have much interaction with. Actually, well, I used to, on a Sunday before the results show, I used to go into Louis Walsh's dressing room and have a glass of wine with him, which is what I wasn't allowed to do. So that was really fun. And I didn't really speak to Nicole Scherzinger much. I did sometimes speak with Simon from time to time. But, obviously, there was some press, during the competition about, a few people were, started to diss me and claim that I was appropriating Black culture, which was obviously, very upsetting for me, because I've, grown up, with Black music the whole of my life. And, I was associated with BBC One Extra, which is the UK's biggest Black music radio station when it was actually founded. So, when there was people, a couple of celebrities came forward. I think it was Lily Allen and Professor Green that started to sort of diss me through the press, like claiming that I was appropriating Black culture, and they made, that they found it offensive. And, obviously that was really hard, for me, because there was quite a lot of press stories on it. But, I've learned now, not to take any notice of it, and, and not take it the wrong way and take it offensively. It wasn't like, people from the Black community were coming forward and saying, I'm insulted by your music. Professor Green and Lily Allen are actually white, and they claimed that they found it offensive. But, to be honest, I just don't take any notice about it. To me, music is about sharing and celebrating cultures, and, it's about jubilation and celebrating different cultures. It's not about sort of saying, you you did this, you did that, you've done this. It's about celebration and music and sharing. And so that was obviously, quite upsetting for me. But, and I felt obviously that was pretty ill-founded.
In America, we have this PC culture thing going on where people get offended on behalf of other people, and it's just pretty much exactly what you're saying. It's not the people that they're talking about that get offended. It's the people get offended on behalf of people that don't even care. So
I know. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. Like, and I kind of thought, that the people that came forward, like Lily Allen and Professor Green, they were just trying to sort of, in a way, sort of steal the limelight, and it was just like, get over it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm here to stay.
Hey, if those people of that stature are talking about you, I guarantee that sold you a few records. There's no doubt. That's the way I look at it. You know what I mean? If I get shit on by Tom Cruise, my radio show's gonna have a lot more listeners next week. So.
I'm actually a very big fan of Tom Cruise. I just saw his new film, actually, Fallout. I love it.
Oh, yeah, that was actually pretty good. He does his own stunts now, which is pretty crazy.
I know. He did that stunt. I read about that. He did the helicopter stunt. That was amazing.
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking. But, I mean, off the air, out of the movies, he's out of his mind with this whole Scientology thing, but that's a whole other story, But
oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
I heard about that. Yeah.
We have shows over here about how crazy that is, So, Tom is a big fan of the haters on the show he does, right? Tom, you love the people calling up and talking shit on your show.
Oh yeah, I invite them every show. It says trolls welcome. You can call me, say whatever you want about me. I love it. Yeah. When you write a rap song, if you're gonna have to forgive me because it's always fascinated me. Do you hear a groove in your head? Because obviously you're probably not in a studio when you're beginning to come up with the idea for a song or the lyrics. Do you hear that in your head? Do you have a piano background? Do you do a little sort of basic thing, or how does that happen? Because I can't. I'm astounded that rappers can remember the words and the rhythm. There's just so much there. How do you make that happen?
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes strange, when you get inspired and when you get a moment of inspiration. Like, if I'm not in my studio and I'm getting inspired, I just, I get it down in my phone and I record it into my phone, or I'll write the lyrics straight away. If I'm in the car, I'll stop the car and I'll write the lyrics down, because I know by the time I get home, I probably would have forgotten the flow of what I was going to say. So it really is strange sometimes when you get your bursts of inspiration. Sometimes I do get my inspiration when I'm in the studio. I might get my inspiration when I hear another song, and I come up with another melody, as a result of hearing another song. Obviously, that's not identical to the song that I've listened to. I might come up with a different melody, even if I've heard another song. So, yeah, it's strange, when you get your inspiration and when you get, your bars, and it happens at different points in your life. Sometimes if you're feeling angry, or if you're feeling sad, or even if you're feeling happy, it's a lot of it is to do with, what you experience in your life, and, I have a voice recorder as well, like a dictaphone type thing, so, which I bring around with me, a lot of the places that I go, because you never know when you're going to get a burst of inspiration.
What do you have first? Is it normally the lyrics first that you come across, or is it different every time?
Normally it is the lyrics that come first, and it depends if I've come up with a melody or a melodic line, or a rhythm, or I think, right, I've got an idea for a beat. It does vary. It really does depend. The situation you're in, where you are, how you're feeling, what you're doing.
Yeah, I saw that you did that makeover show quite recently. How was that?
Yeah.
How do you feel about taking away the Honey G persona and doing that kind of thing. You know, a lot of people are like, she's never going to do that kind of thing. She doesn't take them glasses off ever, you know. So I found it interesting that you did that. It's like you're getting very, very confident in yourself that you're like, screw those people that are going to say something. I'm just going to have fun with this and just do it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm not very comfortable out of my comfort zone, which is not wearing my cap and my glasses and, you know, my ghetto wear and stuff like that. I'm most comfortable when I'm wearing my cap and my glasses, and I am, you know, that is who I am. It's not just Honey G. It's really who I am, and it was who I was before X Factor. So, you know, I haven't changed. I'm still the same person, you know. But I mean, you know, there are some times when I don't wear my cap and glasses, but I am a bit out of my comfort zone when I'm not, you know, when I don't have a baseball cap on, you know.
And go ahead, Tom. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, if you could perform with any other artist, you have your pick of anyone in the world, and then it'll say featuring Honey G on the track, who would that artist be?
Wow. It would probably it would probably be, you know, I mean, to be honest, I would love to do a track with Nicki Minaj. And I would probably say, you know, obviously Missy Elliott as well. But yeah, like, you know, I'm totally, you know, obsessed with, you know, Missy Elliott and what, you know, she's done throughout her career. And I've, you know, got all of her albums since, you know, back in the 80s when I was, you know, even very, very young. So, yeah, you know, I would love the opportunity to work with them. You know, there are so many American artists I'd love to work with, like Snoop. You know, obviously Snoop. You know, and Lil Wayne. You know, Drake, even. You know, Mary J. Blige. Wow, I mean, to get the opportunity to do a track with Mary J. Blige would be unbelievable. And I'm also a very big fan of Queen Latifah as well. I mean, I know. She's quite focused, you know, on her acting, you know, nowadays. But, you know, I remember all her tracks as well. And, you know, I was a very big fan, you know, of one of her first movies. I think it was Set It Off. You know, so, you know, I would literally, if I got the opportunity to work with some artists in America, I would just be so happy.
And I saw that you're actually quite a big. You came out, you know, as lesbian, you know, a little while ago. You're very good supporter for that.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like a role model for some people, you know, that want to do stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, yeah, completely. I mean, you know, I just want people to be encouraged to be who they are and be proud of who they are and go around, shout about it, scream about it, you know, because it doesn't matter whether you're gay, straight, transgender, you know, or, you know, whether you're black, white, Chinese, Indian, it just doesn't matter, you know, and, you know, that's the sort of thing that I want to promote, you know, about, you know, everyone just being themselves and be proud of who you are and go around, shout about it, scream about it. There's no shame about who you are. There's nothing to be ashamed of.
So, oh, sorry, Tom, go ahead.
Well, I have to say, I watched your version of Ice Ice Baby. And you obviously just nailed it, but you looked so confident while you were doing it. And I'm sitting there going, they've got all these dancers and things that maybe you're not used to, and it didn't seem to faze you one single bit.
I remember how much I loved performing that song, but I remember so much that I was wearing this white outfit, and it was a very, very heavy leather, a thick leather that I was wearing, and I remember how heavy the outfit was, but oh my God, you know, I had so much fun, you know, performing in those live shows, and the amount of money I think they spent on the production on my live shows, I think they must have, you know, literally, you know, invested so much, and it was just, you know, literally those live shows, I had the time of my life. You know, it was just the most amazing, amazing feeling. And all the choreography as well. And, obviously Brian Friedman, who did all the choreography, he's an absolute genius. And I loved all the choreography. That is who I am, and I'm in my element when I'm doing that, and that's literally all I want to do, in my life. Is I feel like I was born to perform. Every time I have a gig, every time I'm up on stage, it is the most amazing feeling, and I know that I was actually born to perform. I'm completely, stuck on that, that I really was born to perform.
And what? Sorry, Tom, I cut you off like every time.
No, I was just going to say, Born to Perform sounds like the name of a Honey G song to me.
Yeah, there you go.
Featuring Missy Elliott.
It might be my next track.
Yeah.
You better remember us if it is. We want a shout out in it.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
So you'll have to let us know when you're in New York. Maybe we can.
Oh God, yeah. I'm planning actually a trip to New York. I'm hoping to go next year. But yeah, I go to Los Angeles quite a lot. But I haven't been to New York for years, and I really want to go back there.
Yeah, you'd have to let us know, because it'd be awesome to meet the persona that is Honey G.
Oh, definitely. I'll holler at you.
Yes,
I'll holler.
That should be awesome. I was going to say, you've released a couple of singles. Do you have another single in the pipeline, or are you?
Most definitely. Yeah, I mean, I do. I am sort of really trying to make my label a success at the moment. Obviously, since I sort of parted ways with Psycho, Simon Cowell's label, obviously, making my label has been quite difficult. It's kind of made me realize how hard it is, how to, make a song and make it, and turn something into a hit record. I've been producing, obviously, since, I left university, because, I did a degree in music, production. So I have my own home studio, and I just want to do more sort of collaborations. I'd love to do some high-profile collaborations. As I mentioned, I'd love to collaborate with some, American artists. That would be a dream come true. I'm quite a big fan of, obviously, the label Cash Money. But yeah, so, I'm trying to make my label a success. I do have, I'm always writing songs, and I've definitely got new music coming. So, there are sort of tracks in the pipeline that are going to be released. We've just been sort of focusing on other areas recently. I've been doing a lot of gigs, a lot of performing. Since leaving X Factor, I've probably done about 200 nightclub shows in the UK and Ireland. And I did have my first international booking last year in Benidorm as well. So I'm hoping that more international work's going to come in. And, I want to spend more time in the studio soon. I've got some really good session musicians that I work with as well. So, yeah, definitely there is definitely new music, coming very soon. So watch the space.
Is there a collaboration with Susan Boyle in your future?
To be honest, I definitely wouldn't diss Susan Boyle. I think it's amazing what she's actually achieved and how incredible, she's managed, she obviously managed to make a real success of herself. And I'm very, very, I'm very, very proud of what she's achieved. I know that she's had a tough time and she's been through a hard time. I probably wouldn't say that a collaboration with Susan Boyle is something that I am seeking, but I think it's amazing what she's achieved, and we're all very, very proud of her. In the UK,
and she's one of those people that you don't expect what you get. You know what I mean? So
completely. And for example, there was in this year's X Factor, I think it was Ida who got rid of this older woman during the 6-chair challenge. And I was really, really actually annoyed because I thought, why are you getting rid of her? She could have been the next Susan Boyle, and she had an amazing voice. But yeah, I mean, she decided to get rid of her, I think, during the 6-chair challenge. And I think, you know, I think it's really important that we do sort of, you know, promote equality. And you know, there are, you know, people who, you know, are older. I mean, Susan Boyle is a role model for that. You know, that, you know, you don't have to be, you know, between sort of 20 to 25 to get noticed, you know. So I think we do need to promote, you know, equality in music because, you know, nowadays, you know, obviously all the labels, they're really looking for people who are between 17 and 25. And, you know, I'm obviously, I'm 37, you know, and I'm still raring to go with my career. You know, I'm like, so ambitious, you know, and, you know, I really want to take it, you know, take my career, you know, really, really far, you know, my music career. So, you know, I think everyone of all ages should be promoted, you know, to follow their dreams, you know, whatever age they are.
One thing annoys me. Oh, sorry, I did it again.
It would be a great combination because she has that voice, yes, but she's kind of feisty. And you obviously are as well. That's why I mentioned it. I thought, well, this is a little unorthodox, but I think it'd be fabulous.
One thing that annoys me about X Factor, the one thing that does annoy me is that sometimes it seems to me like the judges, they pick people that are going to win the contest rather than talent. Have you noticed that? You know, so they don't want to pick two.
Yeah, I mean, some things you think, wow, that was unfair, you know, and a lot of the time, you know, maybe they're trying to pick people they think are suitable maybe for a record contract or someone that they think is going to sell records, not necessarily the person that might have the best voice. And I think Simon Cowell is an example of someone that chooses people who actually have good personalities. And you'll notice that Simon Cowell not only picks people that have got good voices, but he also picks people that have got personalities who are larger than life as well. I mean, for example, the guy from this year's X Factor, Anthony Russell, there was a story behind him, you know, and how he, managed, he was mentored, he became friends with Louis Tomlinson, and he had a drug problem, I think, and Louis helped him to get clean, you know, and he had a massive personality, but his voice was not actually incredible, but he actually ended up coming third in the competition. So I think that's an example of someone who they choose that they think that have got big personalities, and they decide to put them through, and they do well.
Well, you know, that could also be said of you. You know, you have a big personality, you know what I mean?
Yeah, completely. And I think that was probably part of, you know, their decision to put me through as well. You know, and I think that, you know, they like people. They want to put people through that they like, that are likable to them.
Right. Tom, I stepped on you before. What was the thing you were saying?
Well, no, I guess I'm just going to agree. It's the personality. It's that, I hate to say it, but it's star quality. It's someone that you can't forget. You can even in the movies, you can have someone that's beautiful and they're just photogenic is all get out. But there are other people that just have a magnetism, a star quality, and you've got it dripping off you, my lady.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much.
So I look forward to hearing your next track, and like I said, if you come to New York, we'd love to hang out. And if of course,
definitely, mate.
If of course, you know, we're not beneath the big honey G at that time. You know?
Oh, don't be so stupid. Of course you're not, mate. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I never ever let, you know, the fame, you know, the fame that I had go to my head. You know, I like to see everyone as an equal, and I treat other people the way that I want to be treated. You know, that's something that I'm not, and that's a diva. So, you know, I treat everyone how I expect it to be treated, like, you know, like an equal.
I was going to ask you if any of your friends, like, you know, stopped being around you because of the whole thing. But like you said, you've been this way a long, long time. So I would imagine that all of your friends have known Honey G, for years and years.
Well, yeah, I mean, some of my friends have, but I mean, there has actually been a bit of a reshuffle, with my friends since I found fame. There were some people, for example, some of my closest friends didn't even come to support me in the live shows. And I remember being really upset about it and thinking, why didn't they come, and sit in the audience with my parents and watch me on the live shows?
That's probably jealousy.
Some of my friends have stuck with me and have been very, very proud of me. And some of my friends have said, they were sort of like fed up that they didn't see me much for a long time because I was busy on the road touring, and so it has maybe put a bit of a strain, on my social circle. But I suppose the people that have come out at the end of it are the people that respect me for what I do and are really proud of me and respect me, for being so, ambitious with my career. And, there has been a bit of a reshuffle, with my friends, and the people that are still my friends. I know that these people are my true friends, know?
Hey, if Joel Dommett can become much bigger in comedy by a video of him on Pornhub, Yeah, when you're a comedian and you become the #1 gay download on Pornhub, and the next thing you know, you're performing at a stadium and you're on, Celebrity Juice, and you're doing the after show on. I don't think it was X Factor. I think it was I'm a Celebrity, wasn't it? He was on, but anything's possible. Anything's possible. Yeah. I think it's jealousy. I think the friends that like dropped off. They're like, oh, she's never going to make it. Inside their head, they're like, she's never going to make it. And then all of a sudden, you're on X Factor, And X Factor must have loved you. They must have, because how many runners-up get to do a performance on the finale? Most of these runners-up, they get to do that stupid group thing that they have on the finale where they all sing Nothing's Going to Stop Us Now by Starship or some shit, And then you get out there and you perform your single that's coming out, which...
performing at the final was an absolute privilege. It was an unbelievable, it was an absolute incredible, experience. I was, literally so blessed. I mean, I think that was being broadcasted to about 10 million people that evening. And I was just so happy to be a part of that.
Yeah, we get X Factor over here on a delay. It comes out the next day. So we get the Saturday X Factor on a Friday night, a Sunday night, and then we get the Sunday one on a Monday night, So we all see you over here on Access TV. They have it. So, there's people over here that know who Honey G is, that's for sure. I mean, Tom knows who Honey G is.
Mate, you've got to hook me up. Help me, help me, get my first gig in America then.
Well, that actually probably wouldn't be that hard. There's a place quite near to me that has launched such careers as Bruce Springsteen, and now it's called it's called the Stone Pony. I mean, Tom's in Utah, and I'm sure he knows what the Stone Pony is.
Oh, the Stone Pony is legendary. Bruce Springsteen and Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes have legendary performances.
And then right up the street from that is actually in Asbury Park. It has quite a diverse population, which would probably quite suit you. And then there's another club up the street from that that's owned by Shep Pettibone, and I'm sure you know that name from the 80s. He's one of the big mixers. He remixed like Kim Wilde and Madonna and all these, and he owns, I think it's 2 clubs, and they're literally 15 miles from where I am right now, But, getting a spot somewhere in New York, there's so many spots. You know what I mean? So it's not really that much of a challenge. The challenge is the marketing, I would say. Right, Tom?
Yeah. Just being able to get the right people that know good stuff when they see it and hear it.
Yeah, it's a shame CBGB's is gone, because CBGB, it would be a good spot, for this kind of thing, right? But I think that's closed now, CBGB. But yeah, we'll talk. I'll send my email on your Instagram there, so you can send me an email.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. Tom, I know before you got on the line, Tom told me that he's got like a billion questions. So I'm just gonna. If you have anything else, Tom, or
No, we do these interviews with people of note, and they're not always what they're cracked up to be. And Honey G once again did not disappoint.
yeah. Oh, my co-host, who would have been on the show with us now, but has no voice from doing 4 hours on the radio last night. We did a big We did a big fundraiser, and at the end of it, Denise is her name. She lost her voice completely, and she was looking forward to this.
Oh, no.
But all she's doing is listening to it right now. She just reminded me that we have to get a Honey G radio ID. We have to get Honey G to say, "This is Honey G, and you're listening to Dysfunctional Radio, and you can say anything else you want. We don't care what you say. So if you would do that for us, that would be amazing."
Okay, do you want me to do that for you now?
Yes, absolutely, yes. If you can, that's cool.
Okay. This is Honey G, and you're listening to Dysfunctional Radio. Stay fly, keep it real, yeah, from the realest chick in the game.
Okay, and if you can do it one more time, just so that we make sure we have a good copy of it, appreciate it.
Okay. This is Honey G, and you're listening to Dysfunctional Radio. Keep it real, yeah, stay fly, and this is from the realest chick in the game.
That was awesome. It's been an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Tom is live in Utah. Tom got up early just for this interview, which, normally he gets up at, he gets up at like 11:30, 12 o'clock. But I don't know if you can hear it. Sorry, go ahead.
Record.
What's that?
Is this a pre-record?
Yeah, we were going to stream it, but we wanted to make sure that we didn't put anything out, that you didn't want in case.
Okay.
Because we're nice people.
So will you be able to send me a copy of like an audio file, copy of the interview?
Absolutely. As I said, I was sending you my.
So how many people? How many people listen to this radio? Is it an internet radio station or is it a normal radio station?
It's an internet radio station, but it's also on a bunch of other networks. So we go out to.
Okay, cool.
Last night our peak was 2,400 people. So.
Oh, cool.
Pretty good number, But it comes and goes. Good. It comes and goes, And then we have listeners in the UK too. So and we have a UK phone number so people from England can call up. We're getting there, right, Tom? We're getting there.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's the Facebook audience, and then there's the Ironic Radio audience, network audience, and all the other. Paul's got the show everywhere. It's on the back of a flying pigeon, I think. It's on YouTube. It's on Twitch. It's everywhere.
And we also give our interviews to a local regular station. We have to edit any of the curses out, which I've been pretty good this time because normally I'm pretty.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty nutty on it because the internet doesn't care, But yeah, and they go out to Armed Forces Radio Network, which is millions of people, So when they take one of our interviews, they do really well. But this is probably the calmest interview we've ever had. I'm glad Denise isn't in the room right now because she always has to ask this horrendous question, which I'm not even going to justify bringing it up. This has been such a family-rated interview. We'll just keep it at that, right, Tom?
Yes, let's do that.
But
well, listen, really nice talking to you.
Yes, we appreciate your call, and thank you so much. And
no worries.
I'll send you my email, and then you can send me a way to I can send you a text or whatever, and let me know when you're in the States or when you're gonna be, and we'll see if we can do anything for you. We do, we'll give it our best shot. Absolutely,
man. That sounds good.
All right, thank you so much, honey. We appreciate it.
All right, nice one. Bye.
Bye. See you later.